Be me. 24 years old, working dead-end retail job at some boutique clothing store downtown. Entire life revolves around this one guy, let's call him Marcus. Met him sophomore year of college at some boring economics lecture where I was falling asleep and he lent me his notes. Thought it was fate or some romantic movie nonsense like that. Spent the next 6 years orbiting around him like a pathetic satellite. Always available, always there, always hoping. Would cancel plans with friends just to hang out with him, even when he'd invite other people and barely acknowledge I existed. My roommate Sarah used to tell me I was being ridiculous, but I'd always defend him saying he was just busy or stressed or whatever excuse I could manufacture. Would stay up until 3 a.m., helping him with projects, listening to him complain about dates that went wrong, being his emotional support system. Meanwhile, I'm dropping hints so obvious a blind person could see them, but he acts completely oblivious. "You're such a good friend," he'd say, and every time it felt like a knife twisting in my chest, but I'd smile and say, "That's what friends are for," like an absolute clown. Fast forward to last summer. Marcus starts dating this girl named Vanessa, who he met at some rooftop bar through mutual friends. She's gorgeous, confident, has her life together, works in marketing for some big tech company. Everything I'm not, basically. Suddenly he has zero time for me, stops responding to messages for days, cancels our weekly coffee meetups. I convince myself it's just the honeymoon phase and things will go back to normal. They don't. 3 months into their relationship and I've barely seen him. Maybe twice for quick lunches, where he spent the whole time checking his phone. My friend Jessica keeps telling me to move on, focus on myself, maybe try dating other people. I go on exactly 2 dates through apps and spend both of them mentally comparing the guys to Marcus. Both dates go nowhere because I'm physically present but emotionally checked out. One night in September, I'm scrolling through social media at like 11 p.m. because I have no life. See Marcus posted photos from some weekend trip upstate with Vanessa, hiking and looking happy. Something inside me just snaps, not in an angry way, more like a dam breaking. I realize I've wasted 6 entire years of my life waiting for someone who never saw me as anything more than a convenient friend. Decide right then I need to tell him how I feel, not because I think it'll change anything, but because I need to say it out loud. Spend 2 hours drafting this long message explaining everything, how long I've had feelings, how hard it's been watching him date other people, how I need distance to move on. It's not mean or accusatory, just honest and kind of sad. Hit send at 1:30 a.m. and immediately regret it, but too late now. Wake up next morning to find he's blocked me on everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, even LinkedIn, which is honestly impressive level of commitment to blocking someone. No response to the message, no explanation, just complete radio silence and digital exile. Sit there staring at my phone, feeling like I've been punched in the stomach. Call Sarah because I'm having a minor breakdown. "What did you expect?" she asks, not unkindly. "You put him in an impossible position, and he took the coward's way out." She's right, but it doesn't make it hurt less. Spend the entire weekend crying, eating ice cream, watching terrible reality TV, doing all the breakup things even though we were never together. Monday comes and I drag myself to work feeling like a zombie. My coworker Tyler notices I look like death and asks if I'm okay. End up telling him the whole story during our lunch break. He listens without judgment, and then he says something that changes my perspective completely. "Sounds like he did you a favor, honestly. Now you can actually move on instead of wasting more time." It's such a simple observation, but it hits different coming from someone outside the situation. Spend the next few days thinking about it. Realize that being blocked, as much as it hurts, is actually the clean break I needed, but would never have initiated myself. No more false hope, no more waiting for texts, no more wondering if maybe someday. It's over and I can finally start processing and healing. Week goes by and something weird happens. I start feeling lighter. Not happy exactly, but less burdened. Like I've been carrying this heavy backpack for 6 years, and someone finally let me set it down. Start actually engaging with my life instead of just existing in it. Say yes when Jessica invites me to a pottery class even though I'm terrible at it. We spend 3 hours making lopsided bowls and laughing until we cry. Go to a concert with Sarah and actually enjoy the music, instead of checking my phone every 5 minutes. Have a proper date with a guy named Daniel, who works in architecture, and we talk for 4 hours straight about everything and nothing. It doesn't lead to anything serious, but it's nice, uncomplicated, and I'm actually present for it. 2 weeks after the blocking incident, I'm at brunch with my friends. Jessica orders these massive mimosas, and Sarah is telling this hilarious story about her Tinder date from hell. I'm genuinely laughing. Not the fake kind I'd been doing for months. Sarah looks at me and says, "You seem different," in a good way. Realize she's right, I do feel different. Still hurt about Marcus, but it's a dull ache instead of the constant sharp pain. More importantly, I'm starting to remember who I was before I made him the center of my universe. That night I'm lying in bed thinking about everything. All the time I wasted, the opportunities I missed, the version of myself I neglected. But also thinking about how the blocking, as brutal as it was, freed me. No closure, no long conversation, no chance to fall back into old patterns. Just a clean cut that forced me to actually deal with my feelings and move forward. Marcus probably blocked me because he felt uncomfortable or didn't know how to handle the situation or whatever. Honestly, don't even care about his reasons anymore. What matters is that his action, intentional or not, gave me something I couldn't give myself. Suddenly get this wild idea. Probably the mimosas from brunch still in my system, or maybe just the clarity that comes with time. Decide I'm going to send him a thank you message. Not through social media, obviously, since I'm blocked everywhere. Still have his email, though, because he never blocked that, probably forgot it existed. Spend about 30 minutes writing it, making sure it sounds genuine and not sarcastic. Explain that I was hurt initially, but I've realized the blocking was actually the best thing that could have happened. Thank him for giving me the push I needed to finally move on and rediscover myself. Tell him I'm genuinely happy for him and Vanessa, and I hope they're doing well. Make it clear I don't expect a response and I'm not trying to reopen communication. This is just me closing the chapter properly on my own terms. Hit send before I can overthink it. Immediately feel this wave of peace wash over me. Not because I think he'll read it and have some big realization, but because I took control of my own narrative instead of letting his actions be the final word. He blocked me to avoid dealing with uncomfortable emotions. I thanked him to prove I'd moved past needing anything from him. Next day at work, Tyler asks how I'm doing with the whole Marcus situation. Tell him about the thank you email and he looks at me like I've grown a second head. That's either genius or insane and I honestly can't tell which. Laugh and tell him it's probably both, but I feel good about it. He shakes his head, but he's smiling. Well, you seem happier, so I guess it worked. Realize he's right. I am happier. Not in a false positivity kind of way, but in a genuine, I'm okay and I'm gonna be okay kind of way. A couple weeks later, I'm out at a coffee shop working on my laptop, trying to update my resume because I've decided the retail job isn't cutting it anymore. Need something that challenges me, gives me purpose beyond just paying bills. Middle of editing my work experience when someone taps my shoulder. Look up and it's Marcus standing there looking uncomfortable as hell. My heart does this weird skip thing, but it's not the same desperate flutter it used to be. More like surprise mixed with curiosity. "Hey," he says. "Can we talk?" Gesture to the empty chair across from me because what else am I going to do? He sits down and there's this awkward silence for a moment. Finally he says, "I got your email, the thank you one." Wait for him to continue because I'm not making this easy for him. He shifts uncomfortably and continues. "I've been thinking about it a lot and I just wanted to say I'm sorry." Raises his hand when I start to speak. "No, let me finish. I'm sorry for how I handled everything. The blocking was immature and cowardly." Takes a breath. "Your first message caught me completely off guard and I panicked. I didn't know what to say, so I just blocked you and pretended the problem didn't exist. Can see he's genuinely struggling with this. But your thank you message made me realize how selfish I was. You were dealing with real feelings and I just abandoned you." Sit there processing his words. Part of me wants to be angry, but mostly I just feel tired. "I appreciate the apology," finally say. "But honestly, I meant what I wrote. The blocking hurt, but it was what I needed." He looks confused, so I explain. "I spent 6 years waiting for you to see me differently, and it was destroying me. Your rejection, brutal as it was, broke that cycle." Lean back in my chair. I'm not angry anymore. I'm actually grateful. Can see he doesn't fully understand, but he nods anyway. "I really am sorry I hurt you," he says quietly. Smile at him, and it's genuine. "I know, but I'm okay now. Actually okay." We talk for another 20 minutes about surface level stuff. His job, my plans to find a new one, mutual friends we haven't seen in a while. It's cordial, but there's no depth to it anymore, and that's fine. Eventually he says he should get going. Meeting Vanessa for dinner. Mentions they're actually engaged now, getting married in the spring. Wait for the pain, the jealousy, the old familiar ache. It doesn't come. Congratulate him sincerely and mean it. I hope you're happy, tell him, and realize I actually do. I hope you are too, he says and stands up. We do this awkward half hug and then he's gone. Sit there for a while after he leaves just thinking. Weird how someone can be the center of your world and then suddenly they're just a person. Not a villain, not a lost love, just another human being making their way through life. Feel proud of myself for how I handled it, for being kind without being a doormat. Text Jessica and Sarah in our group chat. You'll never believe who I just ran into. Spend the next hour on the phone with them recounting every detail. Sarah says, I'm proud of you for not falling apart or being bitter. Jessica adds, character development. You've completed your redemption arc? We laugh, but she's kind of right in a way. A month later, I land an interview at a marketing firm for a coordinator position. It's exactly the kind of challenge I've been looking for. Wear my best outfit, prepare thoroughly, walk in with confidence I didn't know I had. Interview goes amazing, clicking with the team, answering questions smoothly. Hiring manager is this woman named Patricia, who's probably in her 40s and radiates competence. At the end, she says, you have great energy, we'll be in touch soon. Walk out feeling like I'm floating. Get the job offer 3 days later with better pay than I even hoped for. Start in 2 weeks, which gives me time to give proper notice at the boutique. My last day at the retail job is bittersweet. Worked there for 3 years, met good people, but it was always meant to be temporary. Tyler throws me this small goodbye party during our lunch break with a cake that says good riddance as a joke. Everyone signs a card with nice messages and inside jokes. Keep in touch, Tyler says when we're saying goodbye, and thanks for making this place less boring. Promise I will and actually mean it, because he became a real friend during everything. Walk out of that store for the last time feeling like I'm closing one chapter and opening another. New job starts, and it's intense in the best way possible. Learning curve is steep, but I'm surrounded by smart people who actually invest in teaching me. My cubicle neighbor is this guy named Chris who's hilarious and keeps leaving random memes on my desk. Patricia checks in regularly, giving constructive feedback and genuine praise when I do well. For the first time in years, I wake up actually looking forward to my day, not just existing and waiting for something to happen, but actively building something. 3 months into the new job and I'm thriving. Gotten promoted to junior account manager with 3 clients of my own. Patricia pulls me into her office one day. You've impressed everyone here. Keep this up and you'll go far. Thank her and mean it because she took a chance on me. After work that day, I treat myself to dinner at this nice Italian place. Sitting alone but not lonely, just content with my own company. Think back to the version of me that sent that confession message to Marcus. She seems like a different person now, someone I barely recognize but don't resent. She was doing her best with what she knew at the time. Waiter brings my pasta, and I take a photo because it looks amazing. Post it to Instagram with some caption about celebrating small victories. Scrolling through responses later and notice Marcus viewed my story. We're unblocked on social media now. Happened sometime after our coffee shop conversation. Don't feel anything seeing his name in the viewer list. Just neutral acknowledgement. That's when I know I've really moved on, when his digital presence is just another username. Comment from Jessica says, that looks incredible. Also, you're glowing lately. What's your secret? Reply with a bunch of food emojis and therapy and self-respect. She responds with laughing emojis and the best combo. Saturday morning, I'm at that pottery class with Jessica again. We've been going every other week and I'm actually getting decent at it. Made a set of bowls that are only slightly lopsided and I'm unreasonably proud of them. Instructor comes over to check my work. You've improved so much since you started. Thank her and realize I'm blushing from the simple compliment. Used to need validation so desperately, especially from Marcus, and now I can receive praise without it defining my entire self-worth. Jessica elbows me gently. Look at you, becoming a pottery master. Roll my eyes, but I'm smiling. Hardly, but I'm having fun and that's what matters. She nods approvingly. That's the energy, keep that. Later that night, Sarah hosts a dinner party at her apartment. She's invited a bunch of people, mix of old friends and new acquaintances. I walk in and immediately feel comfortable. No anxiety about fitting in or being interesting enough. Just me being myself and trusting that's sufficient. Get introduced to Sarah's coworker named Alex, who's a graphic designer. We end up talking for an hour about everything from bad movie takes to our favorite podcasts. He's cute, funny, easy to talk to, and I find myself genuinely enjoying the conversation. Not comparing him to anyone, not overthinking every word, just existing in the moment. When the party winds down, he asks for my number. I'd love to continue this conversation sometime. Give it to him without hesitation or games. Walk home that night feeling content in a way I haven't in years. Not because a guy asked for my number, though that's nice, but because I've built a life I actually want to live. Good job, great friends, hobbies I enjoy, confidence in who I am. Marcus was never the villain in my story, just a person I projected all my hopes onto. The real antagonist was my own inability to value myself without external validation. Blocking me was his boundary, and learning to respect that while still honoring my own feelings was my growth. A few weeks later, Alex and I have been on several dates. Nothing serious yet, but there's potential, and I'm not rushing it. We're at a bookstore browsing, and he picks up some philosophy book. Ever read this? Shake my head, and he launches into this passionate explanation about existentialism. Watching him talk about something he loves, his eyes lighting up, genuine enthusiasm. Realize I'm attracted to his passion, his authenticity, the way he shows up fully as himself. These are things I'm attracted to because I've learned to value them in myself. We grab coffee after and the conversation flows naturally. He asks about my job and I tell him about a challenging campaign I'm working on. He listens actively, asks good questions, celebrates my wins. This is what it's supposed to feel like, I think. Mutual interest, balanced investment, easy reciprocity. A month later, I'm working late at the office, finishing a presentation. Patricia ordered pizza for everyone, pulling overtime, and we're all exhausted but in good spirits. Chris throws a wadded-up napkin at my head. You're making us all look bad with your dedication. Laugh and throw it back. Just trying to keep up with you people. Get home around 9 p.m., exhausted but satisfied. Check my phone to find messages from the group chat, memes from Alex, a voice note from my mom. Take a moment to appreciate this full life I've built. It's not perfect, still have bad days and moments of doubt, but it's mine, and I'm proud of it. Lying in bed that night, scrolling through old photos on my phone. Come across pictures from college, me and Marcus at various events and hangouts. In every photo, I'm looking at him while he's looking at the camera. Physical evidence of my one-sided devotion documented over years. Instead of feeling sad, I just feel distant from that version of myself. She wanted so badly to be chosen, to be enough, to be seen. Took me getting blocked to realize I needed to choose myself first. Delete some of the photos, not out of anger, but just making space. Keep a couple because they're part of my history, and that's okay. Sunday brunch with the girls has become our weekly tradition. Jessica is telling this wild story about her latest dating app disaster. Sarah is laughing so hard she's crying. I'm eating French toast and interjecting with commentary. Mid-conversation, Jessica suddenly stops and looks at me. You know what? You're different now. Lighter somehow. Sarah nods in agreement. She's right. You smile more, laugh easier. It's nice to see. Feel myself getting emotional, but hold it together. I feel different too. Better. Jessica reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. We're proud of you. The growth has been real, Sarah adds. And we're glad you finally stopped waiting for someone to pick you and started picking yourself. Words hit deep because they're true and they come from people who genuinely care. Work is ramping up with a major campaign launch coming. Spending long hours coordinating with clients, managing timelines, putting out fires. Stressful but energizing in a way retail never was. Patricia pulls me into a meeting with senior leadership to present my strategy. Nervous but prepared, spent all weekend rehearsing. Presentation goes smoothly, answering questions with confidence I've developed over months. Afterwards, the VP of the department compliments my work. Impressive initiative. We need more people like you. Walk out of that meeting room feeling 10 feet tall. Text Alex about the win, and he responds immediately with celebration emojis. Knew you'd kill it? Dinner tonight to celebrate? Agree and spend the rest of the day floating on cloud nine. Dinner with Alex is at this cozy Thai place he's been wanting to try. We're sharing dishes and talking about our weeks. He tells me about a freelance project that's challenging him in new ways. I tell him about the presentation, and he genuinely celebrates with me. You're really passionate about your work, he observes. It's attractive. Feel myself blushing. I could say the same about you and design. There's this moment where we just look at each other and smile. No games, no uncertainty, just genuine connection building naturally. On the walk back to my place, he takes my hand and it feels right. Easy and comfortable like everything else between us. Later that week, I'm cleaning out my closet because I'm restless. Find a box of old cards and letters from various people over the years. There's several from Marcus, birthday cards and thank you. Notes from when I'd help him with stuff. Reading through them now with fresh eyes. all surface-level appreciation, never deep, never indicating he saw me as anything more than convenient. The signs were always there, but I chose to interpret them differently. Close the box and put it in the donation pile. Not erasing the past, but not letting it take up space in my present either. 6 months after the blocking incident, and I barely think about Marcus anymore. When I do, it's with neutrality, sometimes even gratitude. His rejection, painful as it was, became the catalyst for everything good that followed. Forced me to confront my patterns, my worth, my tendency to make myself small. Sarah once said, sometimes the trash takes itself out, and while harsh, there was truth in it. Marcus wasn't trash, just wrong for me, and his exit made room for the right things. Alex and I are officially together now, decided to make it exclusive. Nothing dramatic, just a natural progression of something that works. He's met my friends and they approve enthusiastically. Jessica pulled me aside after meeting him. This one actually sees you. Don't settle for less ever again. Promised her I wouldn't and meant it. Meeting his friends next weekend and I'm nervous but excited. No longer worried about being interesting enough or worthy enough. Just planning to be myself because that's proven to be more than sufficient. Work throws a party, celebrating our successful campaign launch. Open bar, fancy venue, everyone dressed up and happy. Patricia makes a speech thanking the team and specifically mentions my contributions. Colleagues I've worked alongside for months congratulate me genuinely. Chris jokes, next stop, my job, and we laugh. Standing there with a drink in hand, surrounded by people who respect my work, I feel accomplished. Not because of any external validation, but because I'm genuinely proud of what I've built. Take a selfie with the team and post it with a caption about amazing coworkers. Alex comments immediately with fire emojis and Sarah writes, "That's my successful bestie." Random Tuesday, I'm walking to work and my phone buzzes. Message request on Instagram from someone I don't know. Open it to find it's from Vanessa, Marcus's fiancée, now wife, since they got married last month. My stomach drops slightly, wondering what this could be about. Message says, "Hi, I know this is random, but I wanted to reach out. Marcus told me about your history and your thank you email. I just wanted to say I respect how you handled everything. Takes real maturity to turn a painful situation into growth. Wishing you all the best." Stare at the message for a solid minute processing. She didn't have to reach out, probably felt weird about the whole situation. Decide to respond because ignoring it feels childish. "Thank you for the kind words. I genuinely wish you both happiness. Take care." Short, polite final. She likes the message and that's the end of it. Feel nothing dramatic. Just a sense of closure I didn't know I still needed. Tell Alex about the message that night over dinner at his place. He's cooking pasta, and I'm sitting on the counter drinking wine. "That's actually pretty mature of her," he says, stirring the sauce. "And of you for responding gracefully." Shrug because it felt like the only appropriate response. No point in being bitter about the past. He looks at me with this soft expression. "You're pretty incredible. You know that?" Feel myself getting flustered. "Stop. You'll make me ruin this wine." He laughs and kisses me quickly. Just stating facts. In this moment, in this kitchen, with this person, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Jessica's birthday party is this weekend and she's going all out. Rented a private room at some club, invited everyone she knows. I show up with Alex and we're immediately swept into the chaos. Music is loud, people are dancing, energy is high. Jessica pulls me onto the dance floor. "This is your song." Some pop anthem about independence is playing and we're screaming the lyrics. Sarah joins us and we're just dancing like idiots and laughing. Catch Alex watching me from the bar with this fond expression. Wave at him and he waves back, completely comfortable not being attached to my hip. This is healthy, I think. This is what good relationships look like. Later in the night, I'm in the bathroom touching up my makeup. Random girl next to me is having a breakdown about some guy who's treating her like an option. Without thinking, I turn to her. If he wanted to, he would. Stop making excuses for him. She looks at me with tears in her eyes. "But what if I'm not enough?" Shake my head firmly. "You are enough. He's just not your person. Stop waiting for him to realize your worth." She seems to really hear this, nodding slowly. Give her a hug because I was her not that long ago. You deserve someone who chooses you clearly and consistently. She thanks me and I head back to the party. Alex asks if I'm okay and I tell him about the interaction. "Good advice," he says. "Sounds like you learned it the hard way." Agree because I absolutely did, but I'm glad I can help someone else avoid my mistakes. Year after the blocking and I'm in a completely different place. New job where I'm thriving and getting promoted again next month. Healthy relationship with someone who values me openly. Friend group that supports and celebrates me. Hobbies I actually enjoy, not just to fill time. Confidence I've built from within instead of seeking externally. Sometimes I think about sending Marcus another thank you message just to really drive the point home. Decide against it because I've said what needed to be said. His blocking me was never really about me at all, just his discomfort with someone else's feelings. My growth came from choosing to transform rejection into redirection. Sitting in my apartment on a random Wednesday night. Alex is working late, so I have the place to myself. Made dinner, watched a show, did some skincare routine. Simple evening, but I'm content in a way that still surprises me sometimes. Think about who I was a year ago, 6 years ago. So much time wasted on someone who never saw me, but also necessary time because it taught me what I don't want. Taught me to value myself, set boundaries, demand reciprocity. Marcus blocking me felt like the end, but it was actually the beginning. Beginning of me finally becoming the person I was always capable of being. My face when I realized being blocked was the best thing that happened to me. That feeling when you thank someone for rejecting you and actually mean it.